Boys, welcome to a very, very special video. This is by far my most important video. And if you guys don't know my story, 2 years ago, I was going through the most extreme case of derealization, worst anxiety you could imagine. Like every single day of my life, from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, was a living hell. The only thoughts I would think were existential thoughts, were thoughts of, oh my God, I'm so stressed, I don't know what to do with my mind, and I had no mental freedom. And when I say this, like, you could have given me $1 million. You could have given me my dream physique, my dream car, my dream girl, and nothing would have changed for me mentally because of the trap I was living in mentally. So this video, I'm going to be showing you guys, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard life is, how you can go from a state of stress to completely lowering your cortisol, lowering your stress levels, so you can live in the most optimal state of being, to where like your physique will literally blow up because of your state of being. Your mental state is going to be a direct representation of everything externally, and you're going to be able to control your life, control your perception of reality, control how you perceive your own life. This video would change your life, so don't take this lightly and learn how to literally apply this information. Your life will never be the same. So make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you watch this video from beginning to end, because it will change your life. Boys, so this is how I completely killed all stress and anxiety in my life in 90 days without having to take any medication, any quick fixes, none of this bullshit. I completely transformed my mind, and because of the mental transformation and the mental freedom I gained by gaining access to my thoughts and being able to control my thoughts, being able to control my thoughts to shape my life, my physique was a complete representation of my internal state. You can see me before. This guy had derealization. This guy was trapped in his mind. This guy had no mental freedom. This guy was stressed every single second of the day. This guy has mental freedom. This guy can control the way he thinks. This guy knows how to look at different problems as situations and to use them. This guy knows how to think positively at all times. And as you guys can see, the physique, the external body that I had, completely showed the internal. So not only did I completely drop all stress, but my physique came with it. So this is going to be exactly how I did this in 90 days. And truthfully, if you aren't taking notes, if you aren't sitting here and watching this whole video and taking in the information, you are going to waste a massive opportunity. This video will show you exactly how I eliminated all the stress from my life and how I won't ever have anxiety again. I once was diagnosed with anxiety. I once had anxiety. Anxiety isn't real, and I'm telling you exactly why that is, how you can fix it. Before I implemented this method, I would try to escape my whole entire life with vices like smoking weed, porn, drinking, just things that gave me control of my life, you could say. Because this is my way of having control. I was like, if I could smoke from the time I woke up, the time I went to bed, I can't think negatively because I'm always high. That was like my way of thinking, and that can only go on for so long. Everyone knows this. That can only go on for so long. And truthfully, that was my way of having control. You guys can see here. Look at me, greening out. Eyes are all fucked up. Look at this guy. Look how chubby my cheeks were. This guy just wasn't confident who he was. He wasn't proud of himself. This guy had no reason to be proud of himself. No reason to whatever. Like, he genuinely had no control. So when I stopped these things, or even during them, I was set into a state of crippling derealization, where I completely felt numb. I felt like I was the only person in the world that had derealization. And, derealization, if you don't know what it is, it's an extreme case of anxiety, to where you have so much anxiety that your brain literally sends you into a state of numbness, to where you don't feel any emotions. You feel like you're separated from reality, like life's a video game, like you're not real, like you're behind a glass wall. You get existential thoughts. Your mind just races all day. You never feel like you're going to come back to reality again, and it's terrifying. And it's just a thought loop. It's a thought pattern. And I was trapped. I was full of limiting beliefs, and I felt like there was genuinely no way out. I lost who I was because I had no reason to respect myself. And, I would let the circumstances completely control my life, and I was at the effect of everything in my life. But I finally saved my life. And after implementing this method, I have lost 20 pounds of fat, gained 30 pounds of muscle. And as soon as I lowered my cortisol levels, like, my physique blew up. Because if you don't know, stress has a massive impact on your physique, on your recovery, on your ability to grow in the gym, on your ability to
even look good. Like, my hair was starting to fall out in some of these pictures. Doesn't even look like it, but like, because I would cover my forehead started receding, my hair was falling out because of my stress levels. So when I lowered my cortisol, my physique blew up, I got shredded, I started to gain mental freedom, and I started to gain control over my mind. You know, like, at one point I would wake up, and from only thoughts I would think from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed was, am I ever going to feel real again? Am I the only person in the world that feels like this? I'm never going to break this stress trap. I was so trapped in my own mind. So I understand what it's like to be on both sides, because now I wake up every single day with full mental freedom. I can completely control my emotions. I can control my perception of my reality, because you can literally maximize how you can perceive reality. Every day gets better. Your thoughts control your reality. If you could start to maximize your thoughts and you have a never-ending flow of positive thoughts coming into your head, your life will continue to get better every single day without question. So this is why I built this bulletproof system, so that many other people can do exactly what I did. They can understand, how to weaponize your struggle, how to use this stress to not only transmute it into the gym to get bigger, but to gain mental freedom. So no matter what happens, you can always know how to control your mind. Who is this for? If you're looking to quickly lower all stress exponentially in your life, this is going to be you. For the people who want to completely eliminate the stress, if you have a business, if you have a job, a career, you're trying to get out, it's just so much, this is going to be how you can live life stress-free. If you're seeking to transform your mind and body, so have your body be an exact representation of this internal change, so you can have an optimal state of being in your life, this is going to be for you. And if you realize that no one is coming to save you and that only you can save yourself, then this is going to be for you. Truthfully, guys, no one is ever going to come save you. And the fact that you're watching this video probably means you know you have to save yourself. So if you're aiming to shatter all these limiting beliefs about who you think you are now, and you want to become the man that you've always wanted to become, like you're tired of separating the person you are now with the person you want to become because of this stress, because of this anxiety, because it's holding you back from the man you already know exists, this is going to change your life. This is going to be for you. This is going to be the thing that finally gains you to save yourself, gives you the opportunity to save yourself. But you have to understand that you have to save yourself. So if you watch this video any longer, that means you understand that no one is coming to save you and that only you can save yourself. Who is this not for? If you're expecting an overnight transformation, this is not going to be for you. This is not going to be to where you blink and you get the result and it's over and it's all this. It's going to take effort. It's going to take work. It's going to take some sacrifice, but you have to want it. If you're not willing to drop all of the limiting beliefs that you currently have about yourself that are holding you back from making this mental transformation, this is not for you. And if you're okay with following the societal norms and letting them weaken your health and potential, trust me, this won't be for you. The way society wants to put us in this box, in this just by the line way of living, makes us weakened, makes our mind not live up to the potential that it could be at. And if you want to keep up with the bad habits that are currently destroying and ruining your confidence, like your ability to be free in this life mentally, this is not for you. And if you're okay with being like everyone else and you're not willing to become your best self, this isn't for you. This is for the people who are highly ambitious, the highly ambitious men who want to make this transformation, not the people who are sitting there and being at the effect of everything in our life. This is going to be the transformation to where you realize everything is your fault, but that's a good thing because you can start to control every single thing that happens to you, and you are no longer going to be the person who sits there in the audience hall and is the effect of everything in your life. Now, here's the truth about stress and anxiety that no one tells you. You can absolutely destroy all anxiety through your mindset. You can destroy every single thing that you believe is anxiety, a chemical imbalance, whatever you want to call it. It's not real. It is a choice, and I'm telling you exactly how you can do such. You can completely weaponize your mind to where you can only pick the thoughts you want to focus on. Anxiety is supposed to be there for a survival. For our survival. Think about 1,000 years ago. When you are living in a survival sense, when you are living to survive, that's when anxiety is important because it helps you survive. But because of the new pointless dopamine things we were given, because of the way reality is nowadays, because of the easy dopamine hits and the way we can live our life in such a bad, non-primal way, that's why we experience so much anxiety. It took me years to become this person. And I didn't understand that you have to literally go back to the primal way of being, the primal way of thinking, detaching, all these things, because we have to almost desensitize our mind through all this new age shit that we are thrown to in this life that causes stress, that causes anxiety. Your stress is directly correlated to your habits and your actions and your perception of reality. Your habits completely come from your thoughts. If you can shift your thoughts, your habits will change and your life will start to change. And then when you see a physical change happen right in front of you, then your perception of reality will be completely shifted. So anxiety isn't real. If you learn to control your mind, you can do anything. You can gain this mental freedom. And I'm not going to let this happen to you. I'm not going to let you to lose your mind here, because truthfully, this didn't take me 90 days to make this transformation. It took me years, 4 years. 4 years of my life was spent trying to figure out why I was losing my mind in derealization, in high stress. It took me 4 years. 4 years to understand this. 4 years to form this habit. If I was thrown back into the stressful state I was in, then I'd be able to get out really, really fast. But I'm not going to let you go through these 4 years of hell. If you already have, I'm not going to let you go any longer. This is not going to happen to you, because every man is meant to be thriving physically and mentally with no stress. This mindset is something that is developed over time, which means you can do it too. And if you are watching this video, that means you know there is a better version of you that exists. You just have to have the determination, the ability to push through even when shit hits the fan, when shit gets hard. Here's the thing. This is not going to be the easiest thing you do in your life. This is not going to be extremely easy, but it's going to take you having to face some of the fears that you have had in your life. This is going to take you having to push through when you want to give up and you feel like it's at the break, and when you're about to break, because when you're about to break, that's when you break through. But you're going to have to get to a point to where you feel like you're about to break in order to break through. So you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to push through when shit gets hard, and you have to be willing. And if you want to be this person, if you want this person to be you, I'm going to show you exactly how you can drop all limiting beliefs and have this unbreakable perspective on all situations. So every single time you get a problem, it's a situation, it's a solution, it's something that you can use to get better and not just deteriorate you. It's there to build you. I'm going to be showing you how you can significantly lower your cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone. It's what puts your body in a catabolic state, and it's actively breaking down your muscle when you release cortisol. I'm going to be showing you how you can lower your cortisol levels for the most optimal productivity and lifelong enjoyment. So you're going to be able to be productive because you're going to be able to think more clearly. You're going to be able to be so much more optimal if you're running a business, if you're trying to get anything done, if you're trying to just think better, be more free mentally. This is going to be how you can lower your cortisol significantly. We're going to be optimizing our diets to be a sustainable fuel for our mind and body. So it can be used so we can think with complete mental clarity at all times. We're able to manipulate when we eat carbs, when we eat protein, when we eat certain things, so we know how we can focus and what's going to cause us to be the most stress-free in this life. And also be used for our body so we can make an insane transformation while we are doing this. So it's a mind and body shift. So we're going to get jacked, building muscle in 90 days, and actually sustain it long term. So you're not going to just learn it. You're not going to just get in shape. You're going to know how you can keep this mental and physical shape that you're in for the rest of your life. Transcend in this state. Ultimately, we're going to be living a stress-free lifestyle to where you have complete control over your mind and body, and you can start to pick and choose the way you want to perceive your own reality. Because everything is a perception of your mind. Your mind shapes your reality. And if you can control your mind, you can control your life. So this is going to be how you can gain back this control. And in case you guys don't know me, here's a quick backstory of how I got here. 2 years ago, I was extremely self-conscious and found it impossible to respect myself. Therefore, I fell into this trap of always chasing the next dopamine hit. Whether it was parties, weed, drinking, anything I could do to try to gain control of my life and feel like I was worth something, I would do. This sent me in a spiral of derealization, and I started to not feel real anymore. And me not feeling real, me feeling stressed, set me in this thought loop to where every time I get the feeling of not feeling real, I'd get more anxiety, more anxiety, more anxiety. That to where, most of the thoughts I was thinking was just existential thoughts, was just, am I ever going to be okay again? I'm the only person in the world that feels like this. I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the only one. I didn't have a role model. I didn't have someone to get me through this. I didn't have someone to get me out of this situation. But it took me to have to understand that I had to do this for myself. I had to make this transformation for myself, and no one was coming to save me. So at this point, I realized, I was literally smoking weed all day, scrolling 12 hours a day, watching porn, feeling useless. Like, it was my fault. I realized it was my fault. I had to understand, and I had to admit that even though I felt like hell, even though I felt like every single day I was losing my mind mentally, I literally thought I had schizophrenia. It was shot. Like, I thought my life was over. I had to say everything is my fault. And all at once, I dropped every single one of my vices, and I got addicted to the gym in a way better lifestyle. I got addicted to self-improvement. I got infatuated with the grind. I got infatuated with completely changing the way I looked and felt, because this was my new lifestyle. This was my new drug. This was my new addiction. The gym was the one thing I had control over in my life. The gym was the one thing that I could maximize and fully control. And when I started to control the gym, I started to control other things. I started to realize that I could control my mind and all these things. And I dedicated my life to finding a solution that would fix anyone else that was struggling. Like a rock solid solution that is bulletproof, that will get you out of any single anxiety situation, anxiety trap that you could ever fall into. The Strike Blueprint is the system that I developed with all the trial and error that I've been through to make the most effective, lasting transformation possible. Now, I've decided to completely break it down for you. In the following steps, I'm going to basically give you guys the whole entire process from A to Z, beginning to end, start to finish, so you can accomplish these results as well. And you can use the Strike Blueprint too to transform your life so your physique becomes a byproduct of what you already love doing. You're going to become so in love with your ability to gain control over your mind that you're going to once again control over things like the gym, like getting better. Because truthfully, as men, we are meant to conquer. We are meant to want to get more. And this is going to be how I did it myself. We have 5 different stages. We have one stage where we're going to eliminate all limiting beliefs that are holding us back, everything that is stopping us from becoming the man that we need to become. We're going to be creating new beliefs in our head during this time, dropping everything that is holding us back. Stage 2 is going to be a process to where we create non-negotiable habits that have structure. Every habit is tracked. Every habit is written down. I can see every single habit. Like, everything that I did is going to be where I basically had a habit in my head. So I did everything in a way of, this habit is going to lead me to this point in my life, and all my habits were in line with the man I needed to become. So I created this unbreakable process that was in line with the man I needed to become. So I first realized that I had to become this man today by doing the habits that man would do. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to separate this person with the person I need to become, I became that man now. Mastered my diet, learned to use my diet to sculpt my physique and mind, to gain this mental freedom, to gain this clarity in my mind, to gain this stress-free life. Training mastery. I learned how to transcend stress. Actually, the more stress I felt, the better the gym sessions were, because I learned how to use them to get something out of the stress. And then led me to stage 5, ultimate state of transcendence, creating an unbreakable process that eliminated all stress forever. This is a state to where I was able to transcend within my life. I was able to take it to the next level. I was able to know that no matter what happens to me, this isn't just temporary. I didn't just get out of this state so I can fall back into it. I know how I can stay in shape physically and mentally for the rest of my life. I know how I can stay in this mental state for the rest of my life because I have a safety net that I can fall back onto, which is my structure and my habits. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I was able to destroy all of my vices, eliminate this anxiety from my life, and build this unbreakable mindset with complete unbreakable confidence that no one can steal from me. This is something no one can take from you. This is something to where you have control over. And control is the thing I really chased in this life. Dropping all of my vices. So the first step was this creating new beliefs inside my mind, and it all started from dropping all devices. All at once, I am telling you, I quit porn, weed, scrolling, unhealthy food, and sleeping in. All of these I did to the max. If you guys don't know my personality, it's all in. Everything I do is all in. My whole entire life has been 100% on everything. So I completely replaced this addiction with self-improvement. I started to understand that I can choose the way I want to live and that I want more out of this life. So I completely changed the way I viewed reality. I started to look at every single problem, every single thing that was happening to me as a solution. I started to understand, the reality transurfing principles of like how neuroscience works and how we have to act as someone who has already accomplished the man that we need to become now in order to become that person. So I was in derealization, I was in anxiety, but I stayed like that because I didn't understand that in order for me to change, I didn't have to say, oh, when I get out of this state of stress, then I can get rich. When I get out, oh, then I can get jacked. When I get out, oh, then I can transform. No, I was like, hey, today I'm going to I'm going to become that man right now. Even though I feel the stress, I need to become that man now. I need to live by the standard of excellence every single day. So I started becoming the man who was already free while I didn't feel free. So my completely reality started shifting into the state of freedom because I said to myself constantly that I am a one of one. I am the man. I am the dude who I've always wanted to be. I am that guy. I have control. I love the way I feel at all times. Just completely affirming to myself that I am that guy. I shifted the way I perceived all the problems, all the issues, all the stress in my life, and started to use it for the good. I started to understand that everything happened for a reason, but I had to understand that my intention, my goals were given to me from God, and that if I hold them in my head, if I keep putting my intention on the surface, no matter what problems, no matter what failure, no matter what issues happen to me, it's going to be for a reason to ultimately sculpt me into the man that I need to become. So I kept that goal slide in my head at all times, and I started to act as if I was already there. I started to detach from every single problem. Started to look at life like, oh, this is kind of like a video game. I need to just slowly maximize my thoughts. And I basically got to the next part, which is my process. But the biggest part of my process, the whole entire point of the process, the habits with structure, was so that I could make a habit of every single time I got a negative thought, a stressful thought, a bad thought, a thought that wasn't a good thought, I instantly transmuted it to a good thought. And over time, this became a habit. And this is the most important habit, because what happens is when you do this enough times in a row, you're subconsciously as soon as you get a negative thought, you never get to the second and third negative thought. You never spiral in anxiety because it instantly goes to another positive thought. So then you're just in an endless stream of positive thoughts because you make your thought loop a pattern. The truth is, guys, we think the same thoughts every single day, the same magnitude of thinking. So you could think a different thought, but it's the same level of positivity unless you break that pattern. So we break the pattern and we make it a new pattern of straight positive thoughts. And by what causes this, we create, from these thoughts change, from changing our thoughts, then we get habits that change. So we get early morning wins, non-negotiable habits with structure. So structured habits, we have a plan. We learn how to plan out our days the night before. We wake up and we attack the day because we don't drift anymore. And the biggest thing too with stress is not having like free time is so important. You need to fill in the gaps. So we would not drift. It would be right to work as soon as we woke up. We would wake up earlier. It doesn't have to be 4, but it would always be at least 30 minutes earlier than we had to get up, so we had time to get into flow state. We would become obsessed with controlling the things we could control, like our thinking, like the gym, like the food we ate, like the time we woke up, like the way we approached and talked to ourselves. And I learned to completely control my thoughts. And when I say we, I'm just saying, past experience that I've done with other clients and stuff like this, but this is what I did personally. And I made it a habit to only think positive thoughts, And this was the thing that completely transformed my life. Every single day my life got better because instead of chasing the reflection in the mirror, I started to put out positive thoughts. And so every single day I got positive things in my physical reality because I was putting out positive thoughts. And then I mastered my diet. I completely mastered my diet. I learned to use my diet to sculpt my physique and to clear my mind. I used to get fast food twice a day. My diet was one of the greatest causes to my stress, and it's the biggest cause to stress nowadays. It's one of the biggest things. If you eat like shit, you become shit mentally and physically. So it allowed me to quickly lose 20 pounds while gaining muscle. I made a crazy transformation physically and mentally. I'm just showing my face here. This was me before I implemented the diet. This was me after. I was eating peanut butter milkshakes. I looked like shit, whatever. Glowing skin, just veins, whatever. I looked great afterwards. And so the physical change was honestly just as good as the mental change when it comes to the diet. And then training mastery. I packed on serious amounts of muscle. And I started to fall in love with how I looked. And every single time I'd go to the gym, it was like another high. I'd go in there and I felt high on life again and again and again. And I made this insane transformation mentally by gaining immense amounts of confidence. So the confidence I got from the gym just doubled down this mental freedom. And every single time I'd go in the gym, it's like I would be excited if I felt any amount of stress during the day because I learned to transmute all the negative energy and stress and do something positive. I'm telling you guys right now, if you are going through something right now, if you are going through pain, if you're going through hardship, if you are struggling right now, you have to understand that you can use this stress, you can use this hardship, you can use this struggle that you're going through and completely put it into the gym and get the most insane results. And if you are not getting something out of this pain, what is the good of it? There isn't. So you have to understand how to weaponize this struggle. I mastered the most optimal way of training in the gym, and now I walk around with a physique that I am proud of, and I know any stress is just fuel. So even if I did lose my mind a little bit, I know how to get back on track, but I'd also use that little bit of loss for a gain, for a win. And this got me to ultimate progression flow state, my favorite part, because I have a safety net. I know how to fall back onto my goals. And this is Herman. One of my top clients, and you want to know what happened when Herman lowered his stress to practically zero? His business completely blew up in revenue. Completely changed everything. And why? Because he lives mentally free. He was already making a decent amount of money before he joined me, and he didn't join me to make more money at all. He joined me because he was making money and he still felt depressed. He still felt anxious. He still dealt with this mental prison he was living in. He still had no freedom. He thought you would think someone has freedom when on the physical level they have all the money, they have all these things in the world, and truthfully, stress, anxiety, even derealization, all these things make you feel like you don't have any freedom. Like at my worst, you could have gave me $1 million and I still would have been in the same exact state. Nothing would have changed. So now he lives a mentally free life, and for the first time in years, he can finally enjoy his life to the fullest. For the first time in years, he can finally live this mentally free life, and he can actually take back control over his own life. Insane physique, you can see how much his external state has changed, and he's just a killer. He loves his life, and every single day he wakes up with the ability to control his mind, and every single day his life gets better and better and better. So if you are tired of not living up to your potential physically and mentally as a man, you lack confidence because of this and direction and knowing you have more potential in this life, the Strike Blueprint will give you everything you need to achieve this. And truthfully, the chosen ones choose themselves. The chosen ones say, hey, I can do this too. I can make this transformation. So you have to choose yourself. And now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you are aware that a greater version of you exists and your inability to control your mind is destroying the confidence inside of you, and you're ready to finally flip back the switch to gain control of your life, like looking to have this complete physical and mental control of your life to where you can start to maximize, control your mind, so even your physique is just a byproduct of your internal state. You build this lifelong mental freedom to where, hey, no matter what happens to you, you could lose everything mentally, physically, but you know how to control your mind, so you know how to get your life back on order because you start to gain control over your perception, your reality, which is pretty much your whole entire life. I have an offer for you. If you're looking to use this Strike Blueprint, I will help you get similar results to Herman, completely transforming your mind, gaining this mental freedom, and I will help you replicate this exact process, this exact system without all the hardship, without all the 5 years of hell I had to go through to learn exactly, how I could use this to my advantage, how I could change my life, how I could finally gain my life back. You don't have to go through any of this. And in 90 days, 90 to 180 days, 3 to 6 months, we can get you to a state of complete mental freedom. I am looking for the people who are willing to make this transformation, who are willing to save yourself. And there's going to be a link in the description. There's going to be a link in the description of this video. You can click on my Calendly link and book a call with me. I will get on a call with you and I will see if you're a good fit. Worst case scenario, if it isn't a good fit, I can at least point you in the right direction, and you'll have learned way more about what you can do moving forward with your journey. And I am so confident in this Strike Blueprint. I am so confident in my ability to completely eliminate all stress in your life. And when I say all stress from your life, sure, we deal with stressful situations. Sure, we go through things in our life. Sure, yeah, you're going to be stressed out because that is life and that's how we were wired. But if you don't have a significant reduction in how you view problems and stress in this life after going through my program, I will refund you if you don't. That's how confident I am. So if you are willing to make this change and you actually are 100% committed, the people who truly want to make this change, the link is going to be in the description. But if not, we are all in this together. I care about every single one of you guys, and we are all going to completely level up our mind and body together. So I'll catch you boys. Peace.